Good morning, guys. This is Paula. I'm back today for us to try and complete the red page of the rainbow book. I'm going to show you how it turned out, the stitched part, once we got it all together yesterday. Now, I'm in a very awkward place right now. I'm going to lay this in the box that we're going to spray in. It's dry right now. So, as you can see, we have this lower pocket, which I don't recommend with heavy, you know, coated type cardstock. That's what this is. So, just makes it a little stiffer. I went ahead and did the tabs out here like we did in the first one because I like that. When I started thinking about it, I thought that would be great to have tabs in the side of the book. I'd like to figure out a way to go ahead and do that all the way up. The last time it was in this position. Okay, so we've got our fabric pocket with lace, and we've got our cardstock, and we've got our tabs with the little buttons on it. And then we have this decoupage side, which turned out just so pretty with those checks that's behind the decoupage. I didn't know how that was going to happen, but anyway, everything got stitched on. I did add a piece of cardstock in the back and trim it out in this chevron type kind of shape or whatever it is. And then I added little pockets with flowers. It was kind of a afterthought. So, and then now you can see the dictionary. You can see the letter red right here. And it's got this contrasting black, which is great. So, with this, I'm trying not to do real difficult things to put inside the book. But we're not going to add this to our page, but it's going to be the pages afterwards, the spray. So, I'm going to do those first, and then we're going to flip you over. I moved my camera, so I'm attempting to let you watch me stitch out the rest of this, which is not a lot. And that way we can kind of go from there. All right, so the first thing we need to do is just spray this and hope that it doesn't go over all this important stuff around it. I've been shaking it, and we're just going to use Distress ink. It's actually Distress Spray Stain is what it's called. I really don't have another red. So I had thought about adding a few little white splatters, but we got a heart shape down here. Now, I decided to use the heart since it was Valentine's Day yesterday. It doesn't make it a Valentine's page, but I just thought, you know, with all the red, it would be pretty. Now, you want to just hold it up high enough that you don't get, you know, places that don't take in this spray nicely. Now, we'll let that set there for 1 second while I get another sheet of paper here, and we're going to take a piece of copy paper, and we'll probably do 2 of these stencils, and that way we have plenty of pages that we want to put behind our book page. Now, whenever you do this, you just lay it on here like you're mopping up, or sopping up, mopping up. There's lots of different names you can use for it. And do that really good before you take it off, and then you'll have, we won't need to do an extra one. We got a great one right there. Let me see if I can hold it over for you to see. Look at that. Crazy! Now we're going to lift the stencil up and show the music sheet. I think the one that we sopped it up with looks better, don't you? I think we're not going to need any more. What do you think? Why make a bigger mess than we have to? So those 2 I'm going to set aside, and I'll come back and clean this up a little later. Not going to worry about it. And I just think it will look great. Let me flip you over there and let you see. Now, this camera may go anywhere or everywhere. That's the 2 we just sprayed with 1 spray. I think it will go good. Don't you? Let's see. Yeah, I think so. All right. So, I'm going to fix the camera where it will go to the sew. I'm going to move this so we don't have it in our way. I wished I had a studio where I could just have certain things set up in certain spots, you know. I'm coming back to move you. Now, what we're going to do next is we're just going to put some stitching on a lot of these little things. And I'm going to get our glue. And let's see what else we might need. We'll just see as we go along. I can grab it because that's not the problem. The problem is the sewing machine is not, you know, where it would make my life easy. So, we're going to get over here and let me see where we're at. I might be able to move this over where you guys can see the sewing machine better. I'm trying to get this thing to stay balanced. Okay, so let me get this up. Be patient with me. Whoops, sorry guys. I'm telling you, I'm not like the camera lady. Don't do great. So we're going to do one of these. I think Gail calls them Hermelinda tags. So I just grabbed a long 12-inch by 3-inch square of paper. And I liked this print, so that is why I decided to use it. And I went ahead and folded it so we could have some time to do other things. So there we go. Now I thought on this we would tear some music sheet and maybe sew some on. Now the thing is, let me see. I was going to use my tear tool, but I don't know if you guys would be able to see with that. Now we're just going to take a little piece here, and I'm just kind of looking as to where I want it to be torn. There's no real trick to it, you know. Just rip off that top. Now this little blank space doesn't have to be on there. Now because I inked, let me see what I've got it right side up. Because I inked this out here, this really needs to be inked also. So I'm bringing over my red ink. Now, I wouldn't ordinarily use red ink on something like this, you know, just because I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Because it's red and it's, you know, it doesn't look like other things would look. Okay. So there we go. That was not a big deal. That was quick and done. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit, because one of the things that makes this look nice is having contrasting colors. I was thinking, let me see if I did it on page 1. So you wouldn't believe the stuff I have stacked everywhere in my room. We did not trim out everything. But I did add this little bird today because I found him in all my searching of stuff for red. Isn't he pretty? I went ahead and made him a journaling card and put tea stain paper on the other side. So we don't have to trim everything out if we don't want to. So why don't we not on this one? Because it's so big, you know. We are going to, however, and let me move some of this stuff over. We're going to put this red bird. Isn't he cute? Isn't he pretty on there? I hope you guys have enough light. I don't know if we have enough light or not. Okay, so we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this. And glue this music sheet down. Now, I just said we weren't going to stitch it on, and I think I'm going to stand by that on this particular one. So I'm going to have to get it to the edges a little bit. or when you put stuff in the pockets of this red page, it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare if we don't have it just right. And we don't need anything to cause that craziness. Now, I'm going to try to straighten this music sheet up because it's not torn perfectly straight, which is okay with me. All right. There we go. And here's the little bird. Let's just add a little bit of, this came out of a little flyer I had that was about bird watching, or different birds of different seasons and so forth. Okay, so I want to put him right here. How cute is he? I think I'll put him more up to the top because we'll be tucking this. And then after we do that, we'll trim for the tag at the top. Now this little guy could have stood being stitched probably, but it's too late. He's got way too much glue on him already. But he could have been if we wanted to. I'm working in a very odd spot right now, so hang in there with me. Making sure that's straight. I'm working around and over, which is odd for what I'm used to. Okay, so now I'm going to take this larger tag that we have right here. I'm going to move it over. That we're going to make another tag. I'm going to use it as a template to cut these in these corners, just because it'd be easier, although I think I want them bigger than that. So we'll just flip them over. Let's do them a little bigger. I just think they'd look bigger for this project. Then you just flip your little corner that you cut off over, and then you have your little tag. And you can toss those. I do like the Hermelinda. I think I'm saying that right. If not, I am so sorry. Tags. I use them. I use this flip over one. You know, that flips over this way. And also she created the one that flips out like a book. So, but the flip up is my favorite. I just think it looks more realistic. Now, we can add a hoe and add some twine or ribbon or something, but we'll save that for last. Now let's go ahead and do this tag. This is another tag that has a music sheet on it. Now, this is not for a pocket. It is just simply to glue on here, just to decorate. And then we're going to stitch around this one for sure. Also, I've added some little trim right here, just for fun. So I'm going to set that down here too with a dab of glue. That's how I keep it from sliding all over the place. And I'll tell you another trick on your page that you're making. If you will get clips, you know, that hoed paper, just office clips. And that's how I keep both sides of my papers on the page at the same time to get them to hang on and not slip and move on the other side. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit here, just a tiny bit to hold it in place so it doesn't attack my machine. I have one backwards. I'm sorry. Let me get it turned around. All right, so then we can just stitch all this at once. See, and we don't have to worry about it. If I can get it in the right spot. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm not as good at this as Wendy. Wendy works around her tripod a lot. And she does a good job. You wouldn't know it if she didn't tell you. Okay, so now This one's going to be in the stitch pile, and we're going to stitch them all at once. Now, I did find these really pretty roses that I wanted to use with a little poem at the bottom. So we're going to put this in the stitch pile also. And we'll go back and stitch all of these, you know, as we're done. Okay, so the next thing we've got is just a little bit. I was just going to decoupage some tags and put them away. I didn't want to waste the napkins that we had. So I decided to use it when I found this other cute little red bird. I don't know if you can see him or not, but you will when we sew because he'll be under more light. I'm just going to stitch him and put him around in the middle, but I'm going to fix it where we can glue him in the center and keep him in place. Now, just going to, I think this is the one this one is the one I was going to cover up the punched hole so we could see more of the decoupage, and then we'll go back and add a hole and put a ribbon in it, or we'll just staple some ribbon on the top. Now, this is all glued down and ready to be stitched. We'll stitch around the bird and around the napkin, maybe. We'll see how much time we have. And there's the lace. We don't need that right now. So let's stitch these, and if we have time, we'll go back and stitch one more thing. Let me get you up over here. Forgive me for moving you around. Whoops! That was really like a roller coaster. This is me trying to get you where you can see me stitching. Now, hopefully this will stay and focus. Okay, we still need to go over a little further. Let's just bring our tripod over a little bit. And I'll have to move this lamp up a little bit out of the way. The lighting on my sewing machine, I don't know if you guys have this same problem or not, but the lighting on my sewing machine underneath is horrid. I don't know who designed it or came up with this type of lighting. I think that kind of helped, didn't it? A little bit. Let me see. We're learning together here, just so you know what we're doing. I have a light in the background. But see, that still doesn't even really help it. But we're going to go with it. I hope this is okay, guys. Maybe that's better. We'll leave it like that. This machine drives me crazy because of the lighting. I know you guys probably have things that drive you nuts too in your craft room. So we're going to zigzag. And let's start here at the bottom. And this is going to be a journaling card. See on the back. I just had enough trying to get my thread out of the way. It's not cooperating. Now, let's see if I can do a decent stitch. Keeps wanting to pull my thread up in the needle for some reason. So hopefully it'll cooperate. Okay, here we go. Hope you guys are having a good day. My husband's homesick today. And I'm waiting on the housekeeper to get here to clean to help me out today. Oh, crud. Of course, my stitch didn't end where I wanted it to, so you know what that means. It didn't. Let's just stitch it off the page. Sometimes I can do this perfect, and other times, no, I can't do it as perfect. I always try to tie off my zigzag because, you know, you guys all know that my machine does not work like it's supposed to. I still haven't Googled it. It's because when I think about it, you know, it's always a bad time. Here we go. But on that bird I did for the blue book, when I was just doing it at the last minute, it went perfect. Now what you're supposed to do is you get to the end, when you're zigzagging and you want to turn a corner, you guys can't even see, can you? I'm sorry. Let me see if I can fix it. Well, hello, there we go. Should have done that a long time ago. Light's better and everything. When you get to the end of a stitch, if you will, with zigzagging that goes back and forth, if you will land your last stitch of zigzag to the inside. Now watch and I'll show you. You got to go slow. And you want to do it with some space left because it allows you to turn and be able to fit. Now, I still got a little close, but I'm going to show you. And I'm going to turn it in a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but... And I'll show you as soon as we're done how it looks. And we'll do it on this corner too. The correct way to turn a square corner. Let's see. Yeah, I think I want to... I could do one more. You can usually tell how far out you can go, and it really makes a difference on how big you make your zigzag. I really stretched this one out. I probably should have made it smaller. I like the contrast that the black gives the red. I'm going to go ahead and stitch this one off because I didn't get that corner correct. But I do want to show you what I'm talking about. See right there? So if you're zigzagging along, if you'll stop your stitch here and turn, you'll get a clean corner. Do you see that? If not, you'll get this, you know, where you go off here and you start here, and you don't want that. See, here's a cleaner corner. I got off the page just a tiny bit, but just so you know, that ends up looking really nice. Okay, so we'll set that aside. It's done. Well, I'll tie it off later. Now we're going to do this one, and I'm going to make the zigzag smaller and see what I went down to and see what that ends up looking like. So we're going to start in this bottom corner here, and I start out just enough that I can try to, well, I just stuck that down in the wrong spot. So let's start this one over. You want to, I'm going to show you. You want to start, see where I put the little hole right here? That's too close to the edge. So you want to start in here so you know when you get to the next corner, hopefully it's going to give you the same amount of room. Okay, so want to start in further, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I didn't mean for this to be a sewing lesson, but why not? Why not? Now this is a smaller stitch, so I slow down when I get to the end so I can have some kind of control there. Now I'm going to turn it, and you're going to see that it's going to do the exact thing again that we did on the last one. Now these corners are a little trickier, but you can do it on these corners of a tag. Okay, stop. Yeah, you always want to stop to the inside. Go slow on these corners and you'll be happier. Stop. Here we go. We're going to go slower. One more. Right here. I'm going to turn. There we go. Now we're going to do this next long stretch. Now, hopefully we can make this correct at the end. This is harder to do for me, to get it to line up. Let's see. Yeah. One more and one more. I hope we did it. I'm not sure. I think we got real close. Well, we are not bad. It's not bad. You can see here. I leave these to tie off later. But you can see that it was real close to being correct. If you look here, you can see on my corners. See how they worked? And you got 3 here, and then you got your back. You're connected here and here. It goes around the corner. Same here. You get all the way down. Okay, so over here, we started right here, which looks a little crooked right there. But then you go down here and stop right here, come back around the corner. So that's nice that that worked. Now this one is going to have a button at the top, because we don't want that gold in there. I mean, I'll string the button and glue it on, but it's, you know, that's not something that's difficult. Now, I'm going to make the zigzag even smaller, because I want it to be smaller on this, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's supposed to be this size, but we'll see. Okay, we're going to start in the same spot, and which is to the, try to get it where it will give us plenty of room. We just have to see. Now when your zigzag is smaller, of course, you can't go as fast. Slowing down. I don't know why I'm crooked at the bottom most when I do this. It's crazy. So we're going to zigzag around the outside, and then we'll do a straight stitch around this little bird. Getting to the first corner. Yeah, so we're going to turn. I could have gone out one more stitch maybe, but it's hard to tell when you change the length and width of your stitch. You know, I feel like when I want this to look really good is when it's the hardest to look good. All right, we're going to slow down, try to get this correct. I don't know if we will or not. I don't think this one's going to be matchy-matchy. I need to learn how to do it at on the start stitch so we can tell. Yeah. So I like the way that looks. Now, I will re-punch this and put a ribbon through. But now we're going to do a straight stitch. Now, I'm not going to do the straight stitch super tiny because I don't want it to, you know, cut into my paper too much. So I usually go up 1 or 2 sizes when I do my straight stitch for that reason. We'll see what happens. So after this video, and I have a major cleanup from our our second page, I'm going to start my next Easter book, which is going to be, I think it's called Fuzzy Duck. And you're probably thinking, Fuzzy Duck? Well, I look at Easter and I think of chicks, ducks, and rabbits, and lambs. Those, to me, are the four animals of Easter. Okay. Now, I didn't concentrate on this stitching as close as I did the zigzag because it doesn't, you know. Now, it didn't, on the back, these don't stitch beautiful. So what I usually try to do is add some tea stain paper to the back. And sometimes I'll stitch around it and stitch around it and then glue it on. Like I could have added it on here, which, you know, I might have, probably should have, but would have saved me a step. But I also like the character that you get from this on the back. You know, the stitching. So, okay, so I'm going to poke a hole here and I will put some lace in that one. Now, let me see what else we got here that needs to be done. Those are the main things. And at the beginning of the next video, I will have page 1 and page 2 so you can see exactly what they're going to look like with everything stuffed into the page. And aren't those roses beautiful? Makes me think of my mama because she loves red roses. And during her funeral, we just had tons of red roses. So, anyway, I hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day. And Rick is not feeling well, so we just kind of hung around here and brought in food. And we gave each other their card, which is a verbal card. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. We don't buy cards. I don't like to buy them anymore because I just think they're such a ripoff. And I make cards, so normally I would make a card, but we didn't even do that this year. So I hope you guys got to go out and have dinner and have some fun. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to clean up this mess and put the book together, and it will be the first thing you see on the next video. And then right after that, I'm going to show you how to take apart a little golden book and how to do the pages to be able to bind them into the book rather than to fold the edges in. So that's what's up next, and I hope you have a great day. We are having freezing rain today, although it's stopped right now. And yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give me a thumbs up. Thank you guys. Have a good day.